The bombshell went off in every Atlanta group chat before the courtroom doors had even closed. With her eyes burning and her voice trembling with sheer heat, Jasmine suddenly revealed the nuclear option that nobody had anticipated. She is requesting complete and exclusive custody of the little child that the whole family agreed would always be shared. "I now own him," she growled at the cameras that were waiting outside. Tears won't fall, and lipstick is still flawless. Rasheeda is free to go on. The chapter has ended. The family is already murmuring that the papers were served before dawn, according to various sources inside. With accusations so heinous that they make the reunion from the previous season seem like a tea party. While the youngster slept in the adjacent room, there were alleged covert recordings of late-night parties. Asserts that one side has been covertly accumulating evidence for months in anticipation of the ideal opportunity to launch an attack. And that time has just come. It's said that Rasheeda's camp is completely unstable. Loyal friends are already picking sides in public, phones are going off, and attorneys are rushing. A close friend reportedly texted, "She really just tried to erase her," while another retorted that Jasmine had finally stopped being kind. According to reports, the child's paternal relations are split in half. While some screamed betrayal, others calmly acknowledged that the tension had been simmering for years. Fans who used to ship the blended family idea are now witnessing the real-time cracking of the entire foundation. Mid-sentence deletions of private Instagram accounts are occurring. "We're cleaning out old pictures of co-parenting." A young child whose name is set to become the newest battlefield sits somewhere in the midst of it all. This is not a low-key lawsuit. It's war. Additionally, the initial shot was fired in public on television with no apologies. Someone is going to lose everything, and what transpires next could destroy all previous alliances. As soon as those custody documents arrived at Rasheeda's door at morning, the tension erupted. By the time the sun had fully risen, everyone in the circle of friends and family had already decided on their lines of defense. Jasmine stood firm in the midst of the storm, reiterating that the little boy was now exclusively hers, and Rasheeda had to accept this fact and move on without creating any more mayhem. According to people close to the case, Jasmine had been surreptitiously gathering evidence for months, recording late-night chats in which Rasheeda allegedly acknowledged that she was overburdened by her enterprises and the ongoing controversy around. Jasmine eventually played the clips for her lawyer while the toddler waited for attention that came and went. She refused to share another holiday, birthday, or school drop-off because the decision was set in stone. The courts would declare that the boy was hers. When Rasheeda's sister convened an emergency family gathering in the living room of the old Atlanta home, the same home where they used to celebrate every milestone together, emotions ran high. Accusations were rife in the air now. "How could you do this to us after everything we built?" Rasheeda yelled, her voice breaking. Without blinking, Jasmine shot back, saying, "You know I love that child like my own. He is not protected by love. When he is ill at 3 in the morning, love does not appear. Love doesn't always go the simple route like I did. And he is now." Keep in mind that the room instantly separated. Jasmine nodded firmly as one cousin stood. "The family will never recover," according to another relative who stormed out, screaming that this was utter betrayal and fans who had followed every detail of their life on the internet were utterly startled. Frame-by-frame analysis of old co-parenting videos began. People claiming that the Fishers had always existed while hesitating on each grin and shared glance. Simply put, they refused to notice them. She waited until the child was old enough to understand abandonment before pulling the trigger, according to a widely shared comment. A good mother defends her own, regardless of who is harmed in the process, according to another who stood up for Jasmine. For Jasmine, the personal stakes could not have been higher. This was an attempt to demonstrate that she had always been the primary parent. The one who changed the nappies. The person who continued to play music one despite the robbers. The one who made sure the boy never felt alone by canceling every excursion. It was the perfect way to erase years of memories for Rasheeda. Together, the two women planned birthdays and laughed on Christmas mornings. As the youngster opened presents, everything was going to be changed to make it seem as though she had never existed. When a mutual acquaintance shared a private voicemail, Jasmine allegedly claimed, "The boy already calls me mommy more than her, and I am done pretending we are equal." This was the first significant twist. That the group talks completely collapsed around a single clip. Individuals who had previously shared identical family photos were now blocking one another. In a lengthy post, one of Rasheeda's closest friends claimed to have alerted everyone that Jasmine was playing a long game, gathering every little error and waiting for the ideal opportunity to attack. The only game being played, according to Jasmine's side, was the one in which Rasheeda treated the youngster more like a photography accessory than a living, breathing child in need of consistency. In the most agonizing way, the family was split apart. Uncles who used to coach the boys' little league games were choose which woman to support in court, and grandparents who used to host Sunday dinners were suddenly refusing to talk to half the table. The toddler was reportedly asking why. All around him, there was an abrupt silence. Jasmine became even more determined after an anonymous source revealed that Rasheeda had already begun looking at properties in another state, and was getting ready to move if the judge sided against her. "I won't allow him to be put in a car and driven away from everything he knows," she informed her lawyer. "He lives here. Rasheeda can start over somewhere else if that's what she needs, but I am his home." One afternoon, at the same park where they used to take the youngster for ice cream, the intense conflict spilt into public areas. The argument between the two women was caught on camera by several phones. Jasmine's voice pierced the atmosphere like a piece of glass. "You had an opportunity. Every time the new man required you, you choose the brand discounts on late nights. The courts will now make a decision, and they will pick me." Rasheeda's comments remained sharp despite the tears in her eyes. "You believe that having him makes you a better mother. Whatever is broken inside of you gets fixed by erasing me. One day, he'll ask for me, and you will have to explain why you broke us up." The assembled audience remained motionless until someone finally shouted, "Let the child decide." At that moment, both women turned to see that everyone in the city was watching their private battle. An unexpected ally presented the third twist. A former nanny who had worked in both homes came forward and stated that she had meticulously documented each spray pickup for each weekend that was cancelled. The journal was claimed to be hundreds of pages every time the boy wept for one woman while the other was too preoccupied. Long and the two legal teams were already at odds about who should make the first presentation. As more people immersed themselves into the drama, emotions kept rising. After years of being impartial, an aunt finally released a statement stating that both ladies needed to remember a bit and that she could no longer watch the child become a prize to be won. Every decision revolved around Hart. Fans continued to be divided. Some prepared compilation tapes showing all the times Jasmine had been the only person present at school functions, while others edited recordings of happy moments paired to depressing music. It was getting harder to overlook the human cost. While Rasheeda was reportedly canceling appearances and isolating herself with close friends in an attempt to come to terms with the possibility that the boy she helped raise might be legally removed from her life forever, Jasmine was allegedly barely sleeping and checking her phone every hour for updates from her lawyer. When the child's paternal relatives, music, entered the discussion, another level of contention emerged. While some of them supported Jasmine, others cautioned that having exclusive custody would eliminate half of the bloodline. The family was split up once more. Group texts are becoming battlegrounds with fresh allegations and old screenshots, music. The fourth unanticipated development occurred when a private investigator employed by one website purportedly found that some financial accounts connected to the child's trust had been accessed in questionable ways. Both sides denied any misconduct, but the mere hint of financial difficulties fueled an already ferocious inferno. Those who used to refer to themselves as family were now only communicating through lawyers. And while the grown-ups quarreled over non-existent schedules, the boy was spending more time with temporary carers. Reiterating the same statements that initiated everything, Jasmine maintained her unwavering attitude in public. Now that he's mine, Rasheeda can move on. However, sources say that behind closed doors, she was struggling with the loneliness of being the sole decision-maker and the weight of what full custody would actually mean. Rasheeda was reportedly preparing a counterfiling that would request expanded visitation and a full psychological evaluation of everyone involved, a move that Jasmine's team called pure desperation and Rasheeda's team called necessary protection. The pressure of never being allowed to fail and the knowledge that every decision would be scrutinized by the same fans who once cheered for the blended family fantasy kept the arguments escalating. One late-night phone call between the two women ended with both hanging up in tears the following morning. "I will fight you in every courtroom in this state if that is what it takes," and Rasheeda replying, Jasmine wrote in the leaked text. "Get ready because I am not walking away," she said. The family kept breaking up, starting with a child I assisted in raising. Once vacationing cousins were now unfollowing one another. Plans were being cancelled by friends who used to throw combined birthday parties. Additionally, the broader network of reality TV connections started to weigh in with ambiguous posts about parenting and commitment, which only served to stoke the fire. As if the child's future were a plot point crafted for their amusement, fans created polls wondering who the true parent was and debated every scenario to keep the topic going around the clock. With each new event, the pressure on both women increased, and the feeling that something much more significant was on the verge of collapsing hung over everything like a storm. The cloud is about to explode. Legal writings were no longer the only issue in the custody dispute. When the cameras eventually stopped filming, it has turned into a public vote on love sacrifice and who gets to claim the label of mother. The only thing that remains is a young child who is still unable to comprehend why the two most significant women in his life are no longer able to stand in the same room without the atmosphere being electrified with rage and unresolved grief. Every conflict was followed by silence, which only increased the volume of the subsequent explosion. The child's paternal grandmother sent an official request for emergency mediation in a sealed envelope that quickly reached both families, setting off the fifth significant twist to music. If the two ladies could not stop treating him, music, like a prize, she was willing to seek the court for temporary guardianship. She felt that the kid was being harmed more by the ongoing public arguments than by any custody arrangement. The news struck Jasmine like a physical blow, so she gathered her closest friends in the kitchen that same evening. In a low, menacing voice, she declared, "Nobody is taking him from me, not Rasheeda, not some grandmother who only shows up when the cameras are rolling. He is mine, and I will burn every bridge in this city before I let that happen across town." Sitting alongside her sister, Rasheeda stared at the same letter while listening to music. "They are trying to erase both of us now," she whispered, before breaking down in tears. "And the family that once promised to protect this child is turning on itself." The sister grabbed her hand. However, Rasheeda withdrew, reiterating the lines that had come to serve as her defense. "I assisted with his upbringing. I was present, and I won't go away because Jasmine decided she wanted to be the center of attention." Fans of, who had been devoted to every update were taken aback once more. Old videos of the grandma grinning at birthday celebrations abruptly appeared on timelines with captions inquiring about her whereabouts throughout the most trying times. The discussions on the internet got worse every hour. While some reports claimed the grandmother was the only adult remaining, others accused her of waiting for the right opportunity to kidnap the youngster. When Jasmine's attorney verified that the mediation request may postpone the complete custody hearing by months, the personal stakes naturally increased. Jasmine refused to accept the postponement. During a recorded strategy meeting, she informed her staff, "I refuse to pretend that we can still be polite when we are in the same room. It's time to stop talking. Now is the moment to win. And it's okay if that means traveling to the burnt ground." His remarks were leaked in a matter of hours, and the reaction was swift. Those who had previously backed her started to wonder if the battle was still about the child's best interests or just about winning. The camp of Rasheeda was taken over. Jasmine appeared more and more, alone in the opening statement, which carefully said that she was open to any talk that prioritized the boy's emotional well-being. A private text discussion between two buddies that somehow found its way into group chats was the sixth twist. According to the communications, both women had been contacting the same child psychologist in private, each attempting to get a positive evaluation before the other. Was there another split inside the circle as a result of the discovery? After attempting to remain impartial, one friend posted a lengthy message stating that she would no longer take calls from either side and that she was tired of seeing two adult ladies transform a young child into a chess piece. With Christmas plans already abandoned and group images from prior years being covertly archived, the family was once again split. When both mothers unexpectedly ran into each other at the pediatrician's office, where had mysteriously planned appointments, emotions ran high. That same afternoon, Jasmine and Rasheeda locked eyes, and the waiting area fell silent. Without realizing the tension, the boy seated between them looked from one face to the other. "Mommy is right here, baby, and nobody is taking you anywhere," Jasmine shouted loudly enough for everyone to hear as she bent down and planted a kiss on the top of his head. Rasheeda jaw clenched. She gave the child a fake smile and responded calmly and gently. "We're both here, and we always will be." When the boy was out of earshot, the argument erupted. Jasmine accused Rasheeda of purposefully booking the same slot to create a scene, while Rasheeda shot back that Jasmine was the one who had the office call her at the last minute just to force a confrontation. Phones came out immediately, and within minutes the video was circulating with thousands of comments debating who looked more insane. The nurse called the boy's name and the two women stood at the same time, creating a moment so intense silence they had ever seen outside the clinic. A seventh unanticipated development occurred when an elderly nanny who had worked for Rasheeda years prior came forward and claimed to have seen Jasmine once lose her temper in a way that left the child crying for hours. Jasmine's team promptly refuted the claim in a statement, calling it a paid smear time to influence the upcoming mediation, but the damage was already done, and fans who had been steadfastly on Jasmine's side started voicing quiet doubt. The child's teachers reportedly noticed that he had become quieter at school, asking more frequently when he would see certain relatives again, and that single detail caused the adults to pause for half a second before the fighting resumed. Every new post, every new rumor, every new family member choosing to speak increased the pressure on both women. The eighth twist came from an unlikely source, a producer who had been filming their lives for years, who revealed that both women had been approached separately about filming a special one-on-one interview about the custody battle and that each had initially said yes before realizing the other was also involved. Jasmine spent long nights staring at old videos of the boy taking his first steps, reliving the moments she had been the only one in the frame and telling herself that history would prove she had always been the constant. The family is still divided, with some family members pleading with both sides to turn off the cameras, while others acknowledged in private that the public attention might be the only factor compelling a settlement. Arguments persisted late into the night, with fresh voice notes, screenshots, and allegations that someone had been coached on what to say in court. The boy's name was suddenly trending every day, and strangers who felt entitled to an opinion were scrutinizing every aspect of his early life. The pressure of this scrutiny affected both moms, in different ways, and Jasmine became more inflexible and determined to control every consequence. The sense that the situation could still blow up hung over every conversation, and everyone who had ever claimed to love the child was forced to decide how far they were willing to go. When the final decision finally came, the war that started with a simple declaration that he is mine now had already cost. Rasheeda became quieter, more intent on recording every interaction in case the court demanded proof of her involvement. Friendships, reputations, and fragments of the family soul, but neither woman showed any indication of retreating from the sharp edge they refused to retreat from. For the moment the mediation date was finally scheduled, the two women showed up at the downtown office with different security details and the same icy resolve on their faces. The only outcome I will accept is full custody, Jasmine said to her lawyer as she entered the room with her head held high and her voice firm.